I'll reconvene the conference committee of House File 740. We left off this morning, the DE2 had been moved. Representative Krisha, I believe there's been some more discussion. You have another amendment that you wanted to offer?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'd like to remove the DE2, remove it, not, sorry. And then I'd like to offer the A5.
Okay, so Representative Krisha moves the, I'm sorry, the DE2, which was already moved.
Correct. I'd like to bring it back up.
Bring it back, okay. And moves the A5 amendment to it.
Correct.
Discussion on the A5 amendment.
Mr. Chair,
Senator Dames.
could you tell me, has this been agreed upon by both parties?
Not to my knowledge. It was offered, I believe, I'll turn Representative Krisha.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this came up after our conversation earlier. This was brought up by the auto dealers as an attempt to move us forward and to see if we get to some type of agreement. So I don't know if you want to take testimony or if you want to have them explain it. That is why I'm bringing it in front of us.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if
Senator.
we need testimony, but I would like to know if you say the dealers have approved this. Is that correct?
I would
Representative.
support this. I don't
Okay.
know.
Would the dealers then, could we have somebody from the dealer group and somebody from the manufacturers indicate if they approve of this amendment, if they agree to it, or if they are acceptable to it?
Would either somebody from the dealers or the manufacturers like to comment? I see them moving toward the desk. Ms. Niernan, I think you were the first to sit, so I will turn it to you. Please identify yourself, though, if you would.
Mr. Chair, members of the conference committee, my name is Sandy Naren. I'm with the firm of Messerly and Kramer, and I'm here on behalf of the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers. I was made aware of this amendment today. I think I got it from somebody. And we do have concerns about this particular language, about the tiered approach to the recall language, and also the second section also have some concerns about the way it's worded. We do support the Senate language, the 4 sections of the Senate language that were reached by agreement 4 months ago. I did talk with the manufacturers since this conference committee met this morning, and the manufacturers are willing to go higher on the recall rate. They have offered to go up to 1.25% per month instead of the 1% that we discussed this morning. So the manufacturers have moved their offer.
Other testify, Ms. Backus, would you like to identify yourself, please?
Sure, Mr. Chair, members. Amber Backus with the Minnesota Automobile Dealers Association again. Excuse me. We were hoping, we're not excited about this amendment, but we thought by accepting a lower rate, that might be more agreeable to the manufacturers and hope kind of find some middle ground here on the unresolved issues.
So, Ms. Backus, could I take from those comments that the amendment, if indeed it doesn't infatuate the other, the manufacturers, that it may be not something that is that important to the dealers, or is it something that you would like to pursue?
Mr. Chair, we could live with it if it would help us get forward with moving a bill with all 6 provisions this year.
Members, further discussion?
Mr. Chair, before you call
Senator
for a
Dames.
vote, Mr. Chair, before you call for a vote, we need to get our members back in, so.
Okay, we'll move a brief recess until the members are back. A5 amendment. Are there any other questions regarding it? Representative Krisha.
Okay, so I'll just get clear, so Ms. Nurin, right? I want to make sure I
Yes.
get that right, and Ms. Back. So if we were to put this on, I believe the intent was that this would keep us moving in the right direction, and I think I've heard from Ms. Backus that that is the intent, that's what we're hoping. Are you saying, Ms. Nurin, that that wouldn't help us move forward, or, I mean, is this not, I'm just wondering, is there anything we're going to be able to do to start to bridge this divide?
Ms. Nairn.
Mr. Chair, Representative Krisha, the manufacturers are fine with moving forward with the 4 sections that are in the Senate file that have already been agreed to. They are fine with moving forward with recall language as it was in one of the previous drafts that we circulated with the dealers. And the reason I qualify that is it appears that a few of the clauses that were in prior drafts that were agreed to are not in your A2 amendment. So we do need to clean up some language on recall if we are to go along with that language. But the manufacturers have only authorized us to go as high as a flat 1.25%, not the tiered approach that's talked about in your A5. So we can't support that language. I hope that's clear.
No, that's
Part of the, and I should qualify that part of our agreement on all of this, if we're going to still talk about warranty in any respect, is that there has to be, we're willing to go along with all the language, the new language that they have in the warranty that was offered several days ago, but we do need to have the bill silent on cost recovery.
Representative Krisha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Ms. Nurin, and thank you, Ms. Backus. So at this point, you know, knowing how negotiations can go, I'm gonna ask for a roll call, just so we can get on the record where we all stand, and so we have something to look backward to. I know where the vote will probably fall, but again, this is just to put it on the record, so we have a point in time back and say this is what happened on that day.
Representative Krisha, is that on the A5 or the DE2?
I'm gonna actually call for it on both, but we'll start with the A5.
Okay. Any other discussion on the A5? If not, Representative Krisha renews his motion to adopt the A5 amendment. The clerk will take the roll.
Senator Ingebrigtsen?
No.
Senator Dames?
No.
Senator Weber?
No.
Senator Housley?
No.
Senator Frentz?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Krisha?
Yes.
Representative Hoppy?
Yes.
Representative Lunan?
Yes.
Representative Helverson?
Yes.
There's not a majority on both sides, so therefore the motion fails. On to the DE2 that was moved this morning. Is there further discussion on the DE2? Seeing none, Representative Krisha.
And with that, I'll renew my motion for a roll call.
Representative Krisha renews his motion for a recall, or a roll, sorry, guys, it's late.
Wait a minute now.
I'm an old guy, and this is past my bedtime.
Recovery in there too.
What happens? 2 days out, this happens a lot, so don't feel bad.
Representative Krisha renews his motion to have a roll call vote on the DE2. The clerk will take the roll.
Senator Ingebrigtsen?
No.
Senator Dames?
No.
Senator Weber?
No.
Senator Housley?
No.
Senator Frentz?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Krisha?
Yes.
Representative Hoppy?
Yes.
Representative Lunan?
Yes.
Representative Helverson?
Yes.
There being not a majority on both sides, the Senate and the House, the motion fails. The DE2 is not adopted. Any further discussion, members?
Mr. Chair.
Senator Ingebrigtsen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move the Senate language that's before us.
Senator Ingebrigtsen moves the first engrossment of Senate File Number 638. Discussion on the motion.
Mr. Chair.
Senator Dames.
Senate File 638 is the language after quite a bit of discussion back and forth between the dealers and the manufacturers, is the language was agreed to, and we brought this and passed it out of the Commerce Committee, and it was also passed off of the floor, and this is the language been agreed to by both parties.
Further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. No?
No.
Nay.
Motion fails, not a majority on both sides, the Senate and the House. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will recess.